Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be revealing my top 5 rappers list. Let's go!
Uncle Adams.
Alright guys, so I want to start off by saying that in the past, in some of my videos, I have said things like, oh, my channel is all about me. I only talk about myself and blah, 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 stuff like that. I want to say that my opinion on that has changed. I am in the music industry, so if I want to talk about another rapper or if I want to talk about popular events that are going on or controversial things that are happening, I'm free to do that, and I've changed my opinion on that. So I just want to say that, okay, because I know I have said that in the past. So with that said, today I'm going to be talking about 5 other rappers besides myself. Actually, my top 5 rappers. Now, I've put a lot of time and effort into this, particularly into the 4 and 5 positions, because it's like, where do you start, man? Like, you know, and I know a lot of people probably aren't going to agree with my list, but you have your own list and I have my own list. So I'm curious, you guys, at some point, put your top 5 rappers down in the comments. I want to see what the majority thinks here. And I believe that this is generational as well. If you're from 18 to 25, your favorite rappers list, top 5, is going to be totally different than mine. Okay, so let's get into mine though. Number 5 is not an individual rapper, but a hip hop group. I got to give it to the entire group in my 5th position, and that is the Hilltop Hoods from Australia. Shout out to them, man. Like, my nephew, actually, the reason that I am Unkle Adams, he's the one who showed me the Hilltop Hoods in like 2011, and honestly, I've liked them ever since. They have a lot of catchy songs, uplifting, good lyrics, good messages in their music. I just like them. So even though it's not an individual rapper that I'm naming, I'm giving my number 5 spot to the group, the Hilltop Hoods, okay? All right, moving right along. Number 4 position. I've thought about this one long and hard. There are several rappers that I could have put in this position, but I narrowed it down to an individual, and I have to give my number 4 spot to Rakim. Kids nowadays, I don't even know if you guys know who Rakim is. He's from the generation before my generation, right? So he's kind of old school, but he is a hip-hop legend, and he was way ahead of his time with his lyricism. He still is. His lyrics from back in the day are right up there with the lyricism of today. Actually, his lyrics are better than a lot of the lyricists today. He was way ahead of his time, and he's like a hip-hop pioneer. And it's not so much that I listen to him all the time. I factor in a lot of different things in my top 5. And I just have to give him the number 4 spot because he has been such a huge integral part of hip-hop culture and shaping it really into what it is today, influencing generations after him and so forth. So number 4 goes to Rakim. All right? Number 3. Now we're starting to get into the like, how do you narrow these down? You know what I'm saying? Because these are like the top 3 positions. So you move this one here, you put this one there. I mean, if you've been following me for a long time, if you watch my live streams, you probably know where we're going with this. But some of you may not know. So number 3 has to go to the legendary Tupac Shakur. And I just realized that today would have been his birthday, 51 years old. I was reading on Twitter. So happy birthday, Tupac. Tupac, I still listen to his music, and his music still gives me chills. The other day I was jogging and one of his songs came on. It gave me chills down my back. He has been deceased for how long? And his messages are still living on, and they're still giving me chills, and they're still impacting people all over the world. I love Tupac. Tupac was a no bullshit kind of guy. He said what he felt. He wasn't afraid to be soft and sensitive on his records, but he would also be harsh when he needed to be. He never backed down from his enemies, and I think ultimately that led to his demise. But hey, man, He was a legend, and that's what ended up happening to him because that's how he decided to live his life. He was not a coward, man. He was a strong individual. I listened to a lot of Tupac, and it's crazy because he seemed like he was so much older. Like he was this like legendary older man. And now it's like, man, I'm in my 30s and he was only like 25 at that time. It's crazy. So he didn't even have a chance to really blossom and develop over years and years. But the short time that he lived, he had an impressive catalog. He was in movies. He was doing all kinds of stuff. So I got to give my number 3 spot to Tupac. Rest in peace. Okay. Now we're really getting down to the 1 and 2. In the number 2 position on my top 5 is the legendary Marshall Mathers, Eminem, Slim Shady. He's in everybody's top 5. He's most people's top 1. He's in a lot of top 3s, and he is in the number 2 position on my top 5 list, and I'll say why. In the late 90s and the early 2000s, he took the world by storm. He was so controversial. He made it possible for other white rappers to come in the game. He made it normal. Rap wouldn't be what it is today. It wouldn't be full of as many white people, to be honest, as it is if it wasn't for Eminem, because he made people realize that, oh, wait, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. If you can spit, you can spit. And me and a whole bunch of my friends, we really looked up to him, man, for that. So, and not only that, it's just his story is so incredible too, right? I mean, I'm not going to get all into it. You guys know. Living in a trailer park to a millionaire, had abusive stepfathers, crazy stuff with his mother, his honesty in his music, and he is so skillful. His syllables, right? His bars, his choruses. He was my number 1. He was my number 1 rapper for a long time, but since I've evolved as a person and his music has changed, he's kind of slipped into the number 2 spot, okay? But he's still a GOAT. He was a major influence on me, and I give that man much respect. All right, so let's get down to the number 1 position on my top 5 rappers list. If you have been following me for really any amount of time, if you've been following me on Twitter, YouTube, jumping in my live streams, you already know who it is. And my favorite rapper, number 1 on my top 5 list, is definitely Jay-Z, Sean Carter, the undisputed king of New York, man. When other rappers or people say, oh, I'm the king of New York, it's like, no, you're not. Jay-Z, in my mind, is the undisputed king of New York. From the projects to a billionaire, you guys, with a B. He's not just a rapper, he's a businessman. He's friends with Warren Buffett. He has intelligent things to say. Record labels didn't want him, so he did his own thing and made it anyway. I mean, listen to his songs. He says, record labels hate me. He was changing the game, and he pitched his stuff to so many labels and they didn't want him, but he didn't give up. He believed in himself, and he made hip hop pay off in his own way just by trusting himself and trusting his gut. So that's a big reason why I look up to Jay-Z, because he did that, and I kind of relate to him in some ways. You know, it's like, so all those label people, if they had their way, he would be nobody. But he followed his gut and his mind, and look who he is today, right? So you got to trust yourself and trust your process. Plus, I appreciate his intelligence with business, family. I mean, look at his wife, Beyonce. I just can't say enough about the guy, man. I'm a real fanboy of Jay-Z. Like, I would love to like shake that guy's hand and just say, hey, thank you, man. You've been a huge influence on me. So it's crazy because I'm a fanboy of a few people, and Jay-Z is definitely one of them. So, and another thing about Jay-Z is his flows are crazy. He rhymes stuff that doesn't even rhyme. He does things that I've never seen or heard other rappers do. You can watch videos of him in the studio, I know Jay-Z is taking up a large portion of this video discussion about him, but that's because he's my number one. So I got to explain a few more reasons why he is. If you really listen to his stuff and dissect his stuff, you'll see that he has a totally different swagger and style and flow about him. And that's another reason that I really appreciate his music and him as a person, him as a rapper. He's an original rapper, man. There's no doubt about it. And if you watch some of the old videos about him, like there's producers saying like, I've never seen anybody like Jay-Z. He doesn't even write his rhymes down. He writes them in his head. So he doesn't write them. He just kind of comes up with them in his head. And then he goes into the booth and he drops them. I'm not saying that he does that with every song. I don't know. But he has been known to do that in the past. That is crazy, man. He's basically freestyling songs that end up going on to be gold and platinum. So he's also been a ghostwriter for some legendary songs that I didn't even know that he wrote Still Dre. I didn't know that until like a few years ago, man. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's my top 5 rappers list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I know it's kind of controversial because I don't have Nas in my top 5. He's in a lot. I don't have Biggie in my top 5. He's in a lot of top 5s, right? So are those guys in yours? Are you on the same page as me? Do you like the younger generation? I mean, I know a lot of you guys like XXX Tentacion and Juice World and stuff like that. People like that, those are probably in your top 5 if you're younger, right? So you got to remember that top 5 lists are generational. And I believe that your top 5 rappers become such in your formative years. With that said, if you know me and you know my story, I started rapping because of Ice Cube. I heard an Ice Cube CD and I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is powerful. This is empowering. I want to start doing this. I want to see if I can try rapping. And that sparked me and started me in the rap game. But if you noticed, he's not in my top 5 anymore. So another thing to remember is I think that a top 5 will evolve over time. You relate to certain lyrics and certain artists at certain times, and that can change as the artist changes and your lifestyle, beliefs, opinions, and so on change, right? You might resonate more with a different artist's music now than you did 5 years ago. And I don't have Kanye on my top 5, which is interesting too. I thought about it, but I just can't because he's a genius, yes. He has a lot of great hits, yes. But some of his stuff is so far away from what I like, and some of the arrogance in his music I don't like either. So for that reason, I couldn't put him in my top 5, but I respect him as an artist tremendously, and I know he's in a lot of your top 5s, okay? So drop in the comments, what is your top 5 list? Is it anywhere close to mine? Do you have any of the rappers in my top 5 in your top 5? I'm curious to know, you guys, but this video was long overdue. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Uncle Adams.